Okay, we've got a bit of fun on the bench today. This is a Dave Smith's desktop evolver. I found this in a studio clearance, about 20 years ago. It was stuck in a corner somewhere, about to be thrown out, so I thought I'd save it. And it was only a couple of months ago I decided to hook it out, plug some power in, and see what happened. And the thing booted up. It's very erratic and couldn't really control anything properly. And at one point I'd pressed down on this chip here, and after that everything seemed to work fine. So it seemed like there was just a loose connection. So now I'm left with an evolver without a box. I actually own a poly evolver, but for some reason the sounds I can get out of an evolver are very different to what I seem to get out of the poly evolver, purely just down to the way that the user interface is. And that was one of its downfalls, which a lot of people didn't like the user interface. But luckily for me, that encouraged people to make their own. So this is one I bought off the internet. I've put a link in the description down below. And it's all nicely colour coded, and as you can see that fits exactly onto the board. So I've been on the lookout for a case that might somehow squeeze this in. This is the closest thing I could come up with. It was like £10 from Farnell, so if I can't make it work, it's not the end of the world. It's very deep, a lot deeper than it needs to be, but I'm kind of hoping I might be able to just get away with using half of the height of this. This comes apart like that. That's the top, and there's a back and a bottom piece. And as you can see, it's a very tight fit, and it doesn't help that there's some extrusions on this plastic sides, on both sides. So even still, after all that, imagine if that was going in like that. In an ideal world, I would like this jack to protrude just where the panel is. Then I can drill a hole and that will help secure it. Now this corner, I could quite easily take a chunk out. It looks like it's just an earth on that side and just an earth on that side, and it just looks like a dual layer board. A bit more difficult when it comes to the DC socket. I mean, that's going to have to come off anyway, and if I can knock a little corner out of there, which might be possible once the DC socket is out, then that would move forward, and see how far forward I can get it. I mean, ideally the MIDI sockets would like to be in line with the back, but I don't think I'm going to get it that far forward. But anyway, this is a big experiment, and we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, that went pretty good. In actual fact, pretty much an exact fit. Obviously we still have the interference there, but that's now down to where the pots are. So width wise, we're all good. So now it's just what we're going to do with these corner bits. Now there might have to be a lot of shaving going on. And the MIDI sockets are quite far away, so I I guess we'll take off the DC socket and look about nipping out the board. I mean, even this jack has a little overhang which I might have to shave off, so I might shave that off first, and also a bit of this standoff we might have to shave off. So this corner section is really tight. I'm going to have to probably shave off a bit of this plastic edge off this jack, and maybe like have a D slot where the screw hole goes. Let's try that first. Oh, and also I might as well take out that jack. Okay, I got that jack socket off, and I shaved off the edge there. So it would make my life a lot easier if that edge wasn't there. Would give me just that little bit extra. I might have to see if I can saw that off. Too bad. I got right up to the copper edge there, and not quite hit it, and there's no trace on that last bit there, so everything still looks intact. Yeah, the circuit's still intact, so now actually fits in pretty good. And also taking that side off has given me clearance that I don't think I'm going to need to, might need to shave a little bit of this off if I want to move this forward. I would love to have it as forward as there, so the MIDI sockets line up on that back panel. So really I'd like this front PCB to come as far forward as there. Which would mean removing this section here. It's quite interesting. Can I get the camera to pick that up? It says "Yeehaw," which is kind of the feeling I'm getting about this case. But I think I know which bits I need to knock out now. There's no tracing on this side. Now we do have some power plane here. So this is the ground and this is the positive input. So as long as I don't make any shorts, I can hotwire to this point here, which looks like the ferrite bead. There's a captive ground and a ferrite bead there. So positive power is going to come to here, and then the negative will come to here. And when I cut this section out, I need to make sure there's no shorts between the positive and the negative rails. And this section I have to cut out. This copper plane is analog ground. There's an analog ground test point here. So you can see that goes to that ground, and also to the ground on that side. So that's all analog ground. Okay, let's see what happened. It didn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. There is a join of these two earths that I've cut out that I'm going to have to rejoin together. Those two there. Apart from that, I've buzzed it out and there's no shorts. So that's looking good. Got lucky that there's nothing on the other side there. And also got lucky that this was all analog ground. I don't know if you can see, there's like a little stitch veer here that stitches the analog grounds back to front. And I've checked continuity to ground to this area and to other areas of the board. And everything seems to match up. So, looks like we got lucky there. And if we fit it back into the case, yeah, that's looking pretty good. In fact, it's even more forward than I imagined it was going to be. So let me just, I need to get something to line this up. Yeah. And now I can push the board as far forward as it should go. Good, so we've got a rough placement for the board. Although this is the easy bit now, because now we have to try and match up the board to the holes of the front sticky front panel. I'm just getting double paranoid here. But yeah, I think that's going to work out. And yeah, I'm quite surprised how well that worked out. The back of the board is leaning a bit low. What if I got some PCBs I can just prop that up with? Hopefully that slide under. Okay, that looks more parallel now. Okay, great. So I think my plan is, there's several holes dotted around here, which were the original mounting holes. If any of these holes line up to blank bits of the graphics, if we can get a couple, then I should be able to transfer those onto the case, onto the sticky label, and then I can transfer the sticky label onto the case with the two transfer holes. But of course, after all this hacking around and everything, I'd be stupid to carry on without trying to power this thing up. There's no point going through all the process of making the holes if I've broken it. So let's give it a go. Okay, so I set my power supply up at 14.5 volts. And I have set a current limit of 550 milliamps. Just in case I have done something terribly wrong. Okay, so I'll switch the power on. Yay! And looks like everything's working. The micro's working, so the power supply's all good. I'm sure that other side on the analog bit is not going to make any difference whatsoever. Power supply's happy. This bit's just a bit of shielding. So right now it's time for the difficult bit. And for the record, she's pulling 511 milliamps. Okay, guys. To be honest with you, the Jack Daniels is out now, and I don't really think I'll be drilling tonight. So this will be the end of part 1. But I've got the circuit board placed exactly where I want to. Luckily, these little PCBs fit in these grooves really nicely. So I know exactly how far forward that's got to be. So join me for part 2. Where we shall attempt to line up the front panel from oversynth.com to what we've got going here. Okay, catch you next time.